Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are enjoying the content that I've been putting up a few days. I do understand that some of the things I talk about on this channel may bother some people. I hope no one takes it personally because remember, my videos were not sent directly to you. It was not sent to your inbox. So you should not take it personally to think I'm speaking directly to you unless in some way you relate. You must also remember that what you may not agree with or what you may not be able to identify with, others can. I invite you to take a look at comments to see that there may be people who may agree with you, but more often than not, there's other people who can relate to the topics and the content here. Okay? So thank you for being subscribers for those of you who are, and thank you for those of you that just pops by from time to time. It is okay to share my content on your platforms, provided that you're using it for the good and not for evil and for the glory of God. For those of you who are following and who are Christians. So I want to talk with you very quickly, guys, about the difference between a person's character and the good qualities that they do have. I do have another channel. It's called Big Sister 824, and it is a tiny little channel over there, but I do talk a lot more on these sorts of practical topics. I do also share just little things about myself over there. So if you want to pop over, you can check it out. It is Big Sister 8.2.4. If I remember, because I often forget, I will add a link below. But if you want to go over there and check it out and subscribe. So let's talk about this. The difference between character and qualities. People oftentimes get things confused with individuals who they may be dating, who they're friends with, who they're in business with. You have this person there has some really good qualities about them. Perhaps they're very helpful to you. They're supportive in some ways. They show up for things. If you need something, they're there. They're funny. You can relate. You have this connection with them. But yet you find that they will do things that is actually very malicious and vindictive towards you, and it can confuse you. And a lot of times when they do these things, they will refer back to you and say, well, didn't I help you with this? Didn't I do this for you? Wasn't I the one that picked you up from the airport? Wasn't I the one that gave you a place to stay? So it's almost as if you are expected to put up with their abuse, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, because they were kind to you. And sometimes they don't say those things. They may do something, you may discover some things that they have done behind your back or did it directly. And you get confused about that because you are referring to the way that they helped you out, the way that they did, how you feel when you're with them, how you guys can laugh together, how you enjoyed a trip with them, how you had such a wonderful time with this person, how they are normally the one to sit down and listen to you. They're the ones that hands out the Christmas cards. They remember your birthday. They're the ones that's bringing the goodies and things into the clinic or into the office. And you remember that they're the ones that gave you a ride and they took you to pick up your car or helped you in some way. But yet they have this nasty way. It can be confusing with a parent. Their mom and dad. Not all parents are necessarily abusing their children in some obvious way, but they may do it in a very subtle way. So you're confused because, mom and dad buys you clothes, they're doing these things for you, but yet and still they'll do these things that's really wrong. They may tell a lie on you. They may do something they'll do something to set you up so that you're not able to get into a program. You find out that they went and told or revealed something very sensitive about you to someone else. They may be going behind your back with a boyfriend or a girlfriend in some way, or did something that was really something that would sabotage you and hurt you. But yet at the same time, he or she will cook your favorite meals. They will do these wonderful things. They were mom and dad. So you're confused. They bought you your car gave you your first car, different things of that nature. They help you with the children. But yet there are these vindictive things, malicious things that they will do. They will not hesitate to say something that may devastate you, embarrass you at an outing, embarrass you at a function. This could be your mother, your father, it could be your siblings. But then you think about the other great ways you guys get along and you laugh and they're so funny, but you're wondering why they set you up. Why did they do this? And you'll get confused about that. You'll be confused about that with your best friend. You're going to remember all the fun times you had with them and how they helped you and how they were willing to stand up to the bully for you and all these things. But why is it now that he or she was willing to take your boyfriend or your girlfriend? Why were they willing to reveal very important things? Why were they willing to embarrass you at this function? So whatever the scenario is, I want you to understand that there's a difference between a person's character and certain qualities that they have. They may have very good qualities where they're helpful, where they may defend you, they'll stand up for you, they will buy things for others, you have a good time with them, you can connect with them. That is just a quality that they have. But that has nothing to do with their character, okay? Their morals, moral convictions. Do they have those type of things? Okay? Do they have are they ethical? Do they have those things? Sometimes they absolutely don't have those things. They will help you, they will pick you up from the airport, but their character is of such that they would they'll go to work and they'll lie on their timesheets, or they'll set you up if it's going to save their hide. And that is because their character is different. The husband may buy his wife everything, but his character is of such that he cannot control his anger, so he will abuse her. He will beat her up. Same thing, a wife can be physically abusive to her husband, but on a good day, they go to the gym together. She supports him. They're doing all these things. She's by his side, helping him with his business. These are her qualities, but her character is of such that she has no control, perhaps over lust. So she will sleep around. A person's character, they can do some nice things, but then when their character is subpar, they will do things to harm you. They will not hesitate to betray your trust. They may be funny, but they are lacking in the area of respect. They're lacking in the area of loyalty. They're lacking in the area of faithfulness. They're lacking in the area of where they will protect you. They will harm you, hurt you. They will do whatever they need to do to cover themselves. People who lack character are not able to take accountability for their actions or responsibility for it. They do not face themselves. They're not facing that little monster right in the middle of them. Maybe the little boy and little girl that was traumatized in some way. And so a lot of times what they do is they will focus on or try to blind you or distract you with all their qualities, and you mistake these great qualities that they have as their character. They don't face themselves. That's the problem. They're not able to look at themselves and say, I was wrong for this. It's always going to be someone else that's wrong. They will make excuses for why they did something. They're going to blame someone, whether it's blaming the person or someone from their past. They're going to do that. And within themselves, they're mischievous. Okay? They're good at plotting, planning. They know how to deny. They know how to just behaving in a way that you may see them act in a way that's so shocking to you that you're confused. But that is because they may have a lot of great qualities, but what they don't have is self-discipline, self-realization, self-control, morals. They don't have that. And so a lot of times these great qualities about them is almost what they use as a bait and a shield, and it's just their cover up. So the thing that you have to look at, if when I speak to you on a biblical aspect, the Bible talks about these types of people. If you read the book of Proverbs, it's like a book of wisdom. And it tells you a lot about removing yourself from people who are prone to plotting and planning against others, a person who lies a lot, individuals who act like they're better than others, an angry person, vindictive person, loose women. It's all in there. And what these people do is, perhaps something happened in their lives, and there had to have been a time in their life that they felt, I have to be this way in order to be accepted or to protect myself, or no one is ever going to take advantage of me again. So they figure out what makes people tick and their qualities and the things that they have that's positive. They will build on that, but that now takes the place of accountability and responsibility. If I can be funny, and if I can make you feel good, and if I can make you laugh and smile, and if I'm the one that's always bringing the goodies into work, and people know me for being this sort of person and this individual, and if I am doing things in the community, then perhaps it can cover up and compensate for the areas in which I'm lacking in my character. So that is why when a man beats his wife, he'll go out there and he'll buy her a gift. Perhaps that woman who has beat up her husband, because women do that too, they'll go out there and perhaps get something that the husband would like, purchase him something that he was looking for, or buy some lingerie and take him to the hotel or whatever, and they have a romantic weekend, because she knows, or she'll cry. Okay, she knows that's gonna work. Let me cry. Let me tell him about the sad fiddle story of what happened when I was a kid. These are all the things that will take place. That friend that disrespected you at the outing and embarrassed you will suddenly call you up and be like, hey, I got 2 tickets for this event. You want to come? You want to go? Yeah, you're going to go. They may not apologize, or may say that they may apologize or may not. Or you want to go, and they bought great tickets, great seats, they paid for it. And so you're confused and go, well, maybe they're not a bad person because look at what they're doing for me. But it's a facade. Know the difference between character and qualities. Whenever you're interested in a person, whether it's on a romantic level or a friend or a business partner, their character is going to come out. They may be able for some time pretend to be something that they're not, but eventually who they are is going to come to the forefront. Most people, they will look at you and jump to some conclusion of the type of person you are, and they could pretend to be that way. And what will happen is, after a while, after they've emulated and pretended, there are going to be little things that's going to happen. Some things you'll discover, and something that they'll do right in front of you, and you're like, wait, this behavior is not conducive to what they are proclaiming. And what you're going to do, you're going to make an excuse for it. Because why? You are thinking that this revelation is it's really nothing. You're now using their qualities and think about the other great things that they do for you and say, oh, this had to be why that happened. You're going to make an excuse for that. And then it builds up from there, and it becomes a nightmare. Most people that will tell you horror stories of things that they went through and things that they abuse that they experienced, or losing property, and a person that swindled them, it's the same thing. That person would have been coming to them and they offered things or did things that the person who they victimized thought were wonderful qualities. And so if you're able to just see this objectively, it will save you a lot of time. Now, why a lot of people will probably not want to live like this and follow through with this is because it really makes your circle small considerably. Because what you're going to discover is that there are more people out there wanting to take advantage, wanting to get by, wanting to get over, unwilling to take responsibility for anything, unwilling to apologize, unwilling to see themselves than those who are. And so therefore your circle will get very small. And so if you are a person that, hey, I need company, I need this, I need that, there are lots of people who remain in relationships and in friendships simply because they are afraid of being alone. But the Bible tells us it is in Him that we live and we move and we have our being. You know, the Bible says in His presence is the fullness of joy. And I want you to understand that when you have that, when you pray to the Lord and when you allow Him to really heal your heart from all the hurt and the pains, when you go to counseling, okay? Because sometimes a lot of people believe, well, I just need to pray and go to church, but I don't need to go to counseling. No, you need to go to counseling. And not go to counseling in your church. Do not poop where you eat. I always say that. Find someone outside of your church to talk to. Go to a professional if you're able to. And if not, YouTube has a wealth of people that's giving free information, free counsel. They even have professionals that's on YouTube. So take advantage of those things. There may be other platforms, but I know YouTube. I think right now YouTube is just the big thing. Okay, but you have to take a look at yourself, because if not, you're going to continue to draw these types of individuals. You'll always be tied to people that's going to abuse you and hurt you, and you will never experience life at the level that God wanted you to experience it. You will always be this, and they will plant seeds in you, and then you bring forth that same negativity that hurt you towards other people. You become hampered and hindered and wounded. And so you will begin to see yourself in a certain manner that prevents you from getting off the front porch of the abuser. Yeah, like, oh, I need to stay here. No one's going to want me. Who's going to want me? I'm too dumb. I'm too stupid. Who else is going to treat me like this person? You begin to, again, reflect on the qualities, the great sides to them, and not realizing that has nothing to do with character. Character is everything. Character is more important than character, a person's character, who they are when no one is looking, who they are when they have the ability to choose between doing right and wrong, who they are and how they behave when you are perhaps the center of attention, how they behave when you have accomplished things, how they act with others, okay? The choices that they make to do right and wrong, to be able to empathize with others genuinely and be understanding, and to say I am sorry, and to say I am wrong and I will work on me, to be able to say you are correct, and to apologize and not keep repeating it. A person who, when they say something, that you can count on it. Not a person who's like double-minded. Oh, they're saying something right now. Oh, I promise I'm going to do something. I promise I'm going to do this. And then they do something else the next day. And then they promise you something else. And you're in this cycle with them. Or a person saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. I won't lie to you. I won't hit you anymore. I won't do this anymore. I won't embarrass you anymore. But they keep doing it over and over again because they have no control of themselves. Has a lot to do with character. You see? So character building is something that at a certain age in your life, from a child is young, you're teaching them some things. Now, there will be things they'll get away with. All they know is me, because they're little. But at some point, you have to teach them certain things, like you cannot do this, you cannot do that. Okay? And they grow up. And then you told a lie, and I believe there's every human being at some point has told a lie. Whether it was by just maybe not telling some information or something like that. There's something that you may have said or done. As I said, if someone, maybe you have a friend and they're not that great looking, and if they say, am I ugly? You won't say yes. If you say yes, you're not a good friend. You're going to tell somebody they're ugly. No. And you tell them what's good about them. And truly, a lot of times, if someone's your friend, even they're not that attractive, because they're your friend and you've bonded so much with them, you don't see that stuff. You don't see the scar that they may have on their face. I remember when I was stationed in Georgia, and there was this guy. Unfortunately, he had attempted to take his life, and he didn't die. But what he ended up doing was he had blown off part of his face. So when we first met him, and now they have the surgery and all of that, but it's an obvious difference, right? Because now he has a prosthetic eye and all these different things. And when you first saw him, you noticed all of that. But as we began to work together and just got to know him, and we were all around each other in the workplace, his scars and all that became less visible to me. It was kind of weird. Like, I did not see him, didn't see the scar or the disfigurement as much, you see. But there are things that we all do or have done. But it's the difference between just being an habitual liar. Now, please keep in mind, I'm not telling you it's okay. Go ahead and tell little lies. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying humans have experience at some point, whether you're saying, no, it's fine, when you know it's not. These things happen. These are what we call these face-saving techniques. You want to avoid a situation. You don't want someone to feel bad. Okay? You want to kind of maintain your appearance, or you don't want to reveal certain things to someone. Okay? If someone will say, who in this room has ever been abused before? Most people are not going to raise their hand to say, yes, I've been abused, because some people, it's just too painful to open that door or to disclose that, you see. So it's like they're using discretion. But then you have people that just love to lie. They just lie. I can't wait to lie. Ooh, let me lie about this. I want to lie today. And they just lie. And when these individuals just do it and behave in a certain way on a regular basis, and they're destroying people, and they'll do whatever they need to do, even if it means throwing you under the bus, this is going to be their character. When you have parents who are conditional in their love, they're only going to, if you do something that they don't like, they'll shut down. Only if you're doing something that they like, that they're responsive to you. They may be abusing you. They may be doing certain things that's very vindictive. It's like they are your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, but you'll see that they are willing to step out of the role of a loved one, of family, and do something that is very, very harmful to you. No one expects their mother or their father to go behind their back and do something vindictive or to steal from them. And then you're like, wait, what? But then they'll say, hey, you remember I raised you. I did this. I did that. No one expects their brother or sister to call their job and to try to get them fired. But that's with their character. And then you're going to remember, I stood up for you, and I used to keep all the bullies off of you when we were in school. And I'm the one that took the blame that time when mom was going to get you or dad was going to get you. Remember, I'm the one that used to make the bologna sandwiches when we came home, remember? And that one time I loaned you my pen. And you're going to think of that and go, yeah, well, yeah. That has nothing to do with it. Those are qualities. But the character is very important. When you find that there's a person who's willing to hurt you, harm you, continue to betray your trust, they don't protect you, they will ridicule you, they'll humiliate you, they side with your enemy, they always friends with the people that hurt you and harms you, they will do things to try to break up your relationships, they'll try to downplay your accomplishments. That is their character. And you have to know the difference, guys. From a spiritual standpoint, when people practice doing things that's wrong, they're going to get better at it. It's with anything in life. If you're playing video games and you start at a certain level and you beat that level, you're going to go to the next level. You're going to go and you're going to get better at it. All of a sudden, you're really good. You're playing Fortnite and you're first playing Fortnite and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. And all of a sudden, you practice enough and you are winning battles and all this stuff, because that's just life. If you're working out, you're first trying to do some cardio, it feels like, death 2.0. But the more you work out, the more you do cardio, the longer you're going to be able to hold out. Okay. Your, what is the word I'm looking for? The word, hold on. Okay. I had to pause for a second. Your endurance, your stamina increases. And so when these people have been practicing doing these little things throughout their lives for whatever reason, they just get worse. And when they do these things, it opens them up to darkness. Guys, you better understand that there's an unseen forces that's here. Okay? I have videos that talks about my supernatural experiences. It's not something that happens all the time, but there have been things that I've experienced from I was a little girl living in Jamaica. From a small girl, I remember things that has happened that was like I'm awakened and seeing it and it's happening. Okay. And then throughout my life, sporadically at different times, very explicit and real-time tangible things will happen that lets me know I am not alone. And for some point I was experiencing scary things, but then that's when I'm sorry, there's nobody that can't tell me that Jesus does not exist, because when these things are happening, when I said the name of Jesus, if that's all I can say, even if it's just in my mind because I'm frozen with fear, everything will stop, you see. And I've also experienced beautiful, just supernatural things that's happened sporadically. Okay, I've literally picked up someone, saw this lady walking late at night, and I picked her up because my heart goes out to seeing this elderly woman, and I give her a ride, and she tells me where to take her. I take her to this empty lot. I'm wondering what's out here. I don't see anything. And she gets out of the car and she thanks me. Okay, I know this is a little off topic, but I'm telling you real quick. She thanks me, and I'm trying to figure out where's she going out here. So as soon as she's out the door and she thanks me, I glance over at my dashboard to see what time it was. Because again, I'm like, what time is it and what is out here? And it had to be about, I think it was after 9 p.m., guys. And the second I looked down to look back up to look at her, she was gone. Gone. Okay, so whatever. We'll get into that another video. I know this is off here, but the bottom line is that what I'm saying is, when people, what we do in this life matters. If you live your life doing whatever you want to do, a person that loves to do evil and they are conniving and they're mischievous, it opens them up to darkness and to evil, and they get better at it and they become less empathetic. That is why that person that's normally so sweet to you, you're shocked when you see them stony faced and just looking at you as if you're a complete stranger and just saying something and doing something evil, and then you're shocked, and then they transform back to, Miss Sweet Buttermilk or Mr. Sweet Guy or nice person, nice friend, and you're confused. So it causes you to want to stay with them because you are thinking about the nice things that they do. But I challenge you to look at the person's character, because that is their true nature. And a lot of times their quality is just a facade, something that they do, but it has nothing, and it's an easy thing for them to do. And let's think about it. Sometimes with the character that they have, when they're angry at you, they will withhold that stuff. It becomes a bargaining tool. So they used to do this for you, but now they're mad at you, they'll withhold it. You see, the thing about people like this who have these, they do all these nice things, guys, what they'll do is they'll do all these things. Sometimes they're doing all this stuff for you, and you're confused about it, especially when you're in a relationship. But what they'll do is they withhold the very thing, the one thing that you may need, and ask them of them. Okay? They withhold faithfulness. They're going to withhold respect and loyalty. They're going to withhold integrity from you. They're going to withhold accountability. They're going to withhold responsibility. So they'll do all this other stuff, but something that is important to you, such as telling the truth about a matter, respecting you, respecting your position in your own family, they're not going to do that. They'll continue to disrespect you in front of your wife or husband and children. They'll continue to come to your job and humiliate you and do these things. So there's always a way that they have control of you while dangling and doing all these quote unquote nice things for you that sort of disarms you and confuses you. But they'll continue to withhold things that's very important. And we're not talking about gifts and things of that nature. But again, as I said, faithfulness, loyalty, respect, even the courage to stand up for you. They're not going to do that, because what's important to them is how people view them and being in good standing with other people. They will withhold loyalty. What do we say about that? They're gonna be friends with your enemies. They're going to be friends with people who have hurt you. And I want to put a caveat here. We're not saying that if someone doesn't like a person for whatever reason, you have a friend that they're not getting along with someone, you should not be someone that you just dislike a person and you're not going to talk to them because, well, my friend's not talking to you. We're not in elementary school and we're not going to play that game. You see that a lot happen in churches. Just because the pastor or someone in the church doesn't like you or declares you to be a bad person, then all of a sudden the whole church is mistreating you. That is abuse and it is nonsense, okay? You know, the whole church is going to follow Papa Smurf or Smurfette, who's ever in charge at the church, and everyone's suddenly just going against you. What I'm saying is you should be able to have, if someone hurts my friend, I'm not necessarily going to judge the person, because you still have to be able to look at things objectively. But if you are friends with someone, you're just not going to get along with a person that hurts your friend. Okay, there's two sides to every story. You may get both sides, whatever the case may be. You have to make your own judgment on the matter. But if you hurt my family, my friends, whatever, it's going to be hard for me to have a desire to want to know you and get closer to you. That's what loyalty does. I may not mistreat that person. If I see them, good morning, keep it going. But I will not be inclined to want to call up the person and talk to the person, go to lunch, and then go back and tell them, yeah, I spoke to so-and-so today. He said, she said this, I saw this. When you know that this is an area of contention. I'm not going to go and make friends with an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend who has hurt someone in my life, broken his heart, her heart, or whatever, and yet I am kicking it. That makes no sense. So, guys, I'm going to stop here, but I just wanted to let you know and understand that there's a difference between a person's character and the good qualities that they have. And good qualities without character is nothing. It's like building a house on sand. No matter what good qualities that they have, their character is going to destroy it all. If there's whatever they do for you, it is not going to last because of their character. I heard someone say this, um, character's destiny. You can have a lot of great opportunities, but if your character is shot, it will ruin it. This is why with celebrities, let's talk about pro athletes. You may see pro athletes, their qualities, their athletic abilities brought them into fame and fortune, and they have they get a lot of attention and accolades, but their character will cause them to do things to lose it. I remember a long time ago, this guy who, he's wealthy, he's good looking, but he was sexually assaulting women, and it was proven. That was just his thing. He enjoys just taking it from women. And of course, he ended up going to prison or going to jail or whatever, because his character ruined what he has. That's why you see politicians and men in power and generals in the military will lose their position and will lose their rank because their character was of such that they could not keep their pants up, and will be having affairs with a subordinate or their secretary or doing whatever. And despite all their education and despite all their accomplishments, despite all their physical strength and leading men and women into battle and standing at the front lines and sitting alongside the president and sitting alongside the secretary of the army and doing all these different things, his character was not strong enough for him to say no to the 110-pound woman that works in his office. So he puts his entire career on the line, loses his family. Character's destiny. Someone who is doing so well, is accomplished, and is earning money the honest way, but their character turns them in a way to do some crooked, shady things and steal from people. This had a really big case, that the Alec Murdaugh case. Alec Murdaugh, okay? Accomplished attorney, well-known, generation of wealth and notoriety, but character causes him now to be in a murder trial. Now, there's people who debate on if they believe he did it or not. Okay, let's take the murder off the table. But what came out was this man was stealing money. Character's destiny. So I'm giving you these examples, not to bring up these type of things, but to show you how a person's character could ruin even opportunities for them. And so it is the same thing. Never mistake a person's good qualities as their character. When you see that they're being nice to you and they do all these things, but then in another setting, they're trying to destroy you, you see that they're betraying you, you pay attention to that and you remove yourself from it. We're in society too much where there's too much tolerance for certain things and people are being given excuses. If a person does something wrong and you address it and you talk to them about it and they continue to do it, they're not your friend. There's nothing else to discuss. And when you live this life, while your circle may be considerably smaller, you'll be happier. Number one is finding joy in yourself and learning how to enjoy life without people making your life happier. The problem is a lot of people don't understand about themselves. They don't explore themselves because they've used so many substitutes and so many other things to do to distract from themselves. And they're working out and they're going to the gym and they have this great big body or perfectly shaped, contoured body and so much attention that they need it. It becomes like an addiction. So they never have to face themselves. There's no accountability. There's no responsibility. And what will happen, and so when you do this and you face yourself and you learn about yourself, and you get the counseling that you need, and you pray and you ask the Lord to help you on your journey and on your path, he will help you, and he's going to give you this sort of peace that you've never had before within yourself. And when you sit and you go and you talk to the counselors, you're going to learn a bit more about yourself and things that you have to face. And so you'll stop trying to get crumbs that people throw to you because they were nice. Oh, I'll put up with abuse because, oh, this person was nice to me. This is the only person that does this or that. They bring in Starbucks for everyone every day. You'll learn your self-worth, and it is a journey that will take time, but it is possible. If you don't take time to invest in yourself, in being better and becoming a better individual, you're always going to be chasing people and wanting to be invited and acknowledged. When you make your circle smaller, even if it's just one other person, okay, you're going to meet the few people who are actually loyal and true and faithful and have character. And because they're so few and far between, it may just be one person that you know that's this way. And you should be okay with that. They may be present, they may be long distance. But a lot of people fear being by themselves. So they will put up with the toxicity and stay there and just be depleted emotionally. We're in a society where it's easier to blame someone else. We're in a society where mass shooters are given excuses for why they shot people. We're living in a society where as soon as someone does something, their mental health is their excuse. But isn't that an insult to people who may suffer with some things mentally, but they are accountable and responsible? Isn't it sort of casting a shadow on people who may have bipolar and different things that they're going through? Doesn't that cast a shadow on those who are functioning perfectly in society because they're doing the legwork, doing whatever they have to do, taking their medications for those who are, and while they may struggle, they're doing just fine? But yet someone could go and blow up a whole building and, oh, he has bipolar, schizophrenia, she has this, she has that. That comes to the forefront, right? So we're living in a society where there's always excuses. And nowadays, you see a lot of people who are being rewarded for bad behavior. People now, they're calling good evil and evil good. And you see it on panels. People just sit and behave poorly, do whatever they want to do, and they make excuses. All a celebrity have to do is put out an apology letter, I'm sorry, and then it's just over with. There's no accountability, there's nothing. And then they'll do it again. You have pastors who are acting up and doing a lot of things that's against the Bible, and people are drawn to their qualities, the way that they speak, the way that they sing, the way that they're able to relate to people, and they are taking that to mean, oh, this is a man or woman of God. And they're not looking at the character, the fact that they've been repeated offenders in a certain way, and then it's just like it's no big deal. The excuse is, well, no one is without sin, don't judge me. And he or she continue on with their bad behavior. That's why you have teachers who are in school sleeping with students, and they're getting away with that. What they focus on, oh, this person's been a great teacher all these years and all this stuff. I don't care about that. That has nothing to do with your character and what you did. What is my point, guys? Just know the difference. Don't be confused by their niceness. That has nothing to do with their character. And don't try to explain things to them. You sit there trying to say, well, there's a difference between your character and your qualities. They're not going to get that. They're going to talk circle around you. You're going to be confused and be right back in that relationship with them. Be okay to move away, to separate yourself, to distance yourself from individuals who are this way, to give yourself an opportunity to be healed and to learn a different perspective and to be able to enjoy yourself, so you're not always feeling guilty and you're not always feeling obligated and you're not confused and stuck in the cycle of up and down, high or low with this individual. There are lots of decisions that I've made in my life for my peace and for my family. That's just what I chose to do. Yes, sometimes there are moments where I may miss people and individuals, but when I really sit down and look at it and think of the years or things that the experiences that I've had, or I think of it's easy to think about, oh, there's the good qualities in these individuals, but I had to face their character and who they've been for some period of time. And I also had to look at the reality of the person's individuals being willing to do things that will harm me or will totally cut me off, or, just so much. So I had to make the choice, and I made the decision that I want something different for my family. I don't want to continue this same habitual behavior of toxicity. I don't want that for them. And it is a sacrifice, and sometimes it is hard, and at times you may be tempted to say, maybe I'm being too much, but you're not. So know the difference, guys. Make the moves for yourself. There are plenty of jobs that you can take overseas. There are things that you can take in a different state. Some of you, you're young and you're in toxic relationships. You're smart. Go join the military. I say that to people a lot because it gives you that immediate distance. In the meantime, you're learning a trade. In the meantime, you are earning some money. And when you are done, you can decide whether you want to re-enlist and continue, or if not, you can get out and you can become a federal employee doing the same job you're doing at whatever you are, as a soldier or as an officer, whatever it may be. But it gives you that foundation to begin and to start and to get away from things, especially when you're around a person who abuses you constantly and all the time. And sometimes you guys are just in situations right now where you feel stuck. I can't get out of it. How am I going to get out? Pray. And find out what resources you have in your community that you can use. I understand that these videos go all over the world, and some of you don't even have any resources. You're living in countries where that is not even a thing. But most people, that is not their reality. They just stay there. And in Western cultures, especially Western civilization, Western society, toxicity is just the drug of choice. People just sticking around for it, and they're staying in relationships, and they're confused. And they talk about what great times they have with these individuals, and they are so nice. That is their qualities. Take out the qualities and look at their character, because it is the character that counts. This lets you know the position of a person's heart towards you. It lets you know their mindset towards you. This is the truth of who they are as an individual on all levels. And their character will always show up. So guys, I didn't expect this video to be this long, but I hope that you are able to appreciate it, listen to it in pieces, and I hope that it opens up your eyes to the dynamics of character versus qualities. All right, guys.